Michigan. Let's hear Paul Ryan.
Each other a couple of months ago. And you know what? I love it when people stand up for themselves, when they stand up for their beliefs, when they speak their principles. Kid Rock, you are a great citizen. Thank you for what you've done for Detroit, for your state, and for our country. Great to have you on board. We were just back there talking about hunting. I'm not going to get out of my tree stand until after this election, but you know what? I'm going to have a great time in my tree stand taking my daughter for her first time hunting, because I know we will have just elected Mitt Romney the next president of the United States of America. My friend and colleague, a great Congresswoman, Candace Miller. Thank you, Candace, for what you're doing for us. She is phenomenal. She's a strong leader. And Pete Hoekstra is here. Pete Hoekstra, thank you for what you're doing for us. We need Pete Hoekstra in the Senate so Harry Reid's not in the majority anymore. You can help us with that. And more to the point, and I can see it on some of the hats you have around here. Kid Rock mentioned this. He's done a lot of work for this. Look at our flag, look at our principles, look at our legacy. It is all because of men and women who put the uniform on. To our veterans here in the audience, thank you for your service to our country. We have your back. We made a promise to you as a nation, and we will keep that promise because you were there for us. Thank you. That's right, sir. And thank you for helping with the Wounded Warrior Kid. Friends, we got a big decision to make. This isn't an ordinary election. We're not just going to decide who's going to be the next president for 4 more years. We are going to decide what kind of country we're going to have and what kind of people we are going to be for a generation. We've got big challenges in this country. The president came in with a tough situation, no two ways about it. Problem is, he didn't make anything better. Problem is, the Obama economic agenda failed, not because it was stopped, but because it passed. Let's not forget that he came in with one-party rule, the ability to do everything of his choosing. And he did that. He passed his stimulus plan. He passed Obamacare. He spent 1.5 years after people were still looking for jobs, looking for growth. He spent 1.5 years jamming through one-party rule, a government takeover of health care. He tried to get a national energy tax imposed, which he got through the House, didn't get through the Senate, now he's trying to do it through regulations. He has yet to show how we're going to get out of this debt crisis that he made worse by adding $5 trillion to our debt. I tell you what, with 23 million Americans struggling for work today, when nearly 1 in 6 of our fellow countrymen and women are living in poverty today, where we've lost 600,000 manufacturing jobs since the day he took office, the president told a television interviewer the other day on Univision that he can't change Washington from the inside. Isn't that why we elect presidents in the first place? If he can't change Washington, then you know what? We need to change presidents, and we need to elect Mitt Romney, the next president of the United States. Cannot afford 4 more years like the last 4 years. You know, I don't know if you saw it today, but I was really excited and encouraged to see Governor Romney address people at the Virginia Military Institute. You see, when you turn on your television, what you are witnessing on TV is the unraveling of the Obama foreign policy. The world is becoming more dangerous. 4 Americans are dead in Libya from a terrorist attack, not a video. Our enemies are becoming more brazen. Our adversaries seem more willing to test us. And we're showing more daylight between ourselves and our allies, and they're beginning to question our resolve. And the reason is, America is projecting weakness right now. Our enemies view us as a superpower in retreat. Now, why is that? It's because when people around the world are speaking up for their freedom, we are not amplifying their voice. It's because when you see the president proposing all these devastating defense cuts, which show that we are not interested in having the strongest military, but they're hollowing this out. It seems like the only spending cuts he's eager to engage in are those that come at the expense of our military. I gotta tell you something. That's not what we're gonna get with Mitt Romney. We heard that today, and with Mitt Romney, we will have peace through strength, because we will have the strongest military in the world, and no one will question us, no one will question our resolve. Having a strong military, that means our fighting men and women have everything they need to do the job, to keep them safe, and that means when they come home, we have their backs because we have the benefits that they've been promised, we have the health care that they've been promised, but they also come back to a growing economy where they have opportunities. That's what we owe our fellow countrymen and our men and women in the military. Our problem is our economy isn't even close to growing at what it could grow at. The problem is all of these ideas, all of this agenda that the president put in place, more borrowing, more spending, more regulating, more money printing, more taxing, it does not create more jobs. It does not create more prosperity. If you want to see what that story looks like at the end of the day, go home again and turn on your TV and look at Europe. If you want European results, you copy European policies, but we don't want European results, so we want to get us off this path of copying European policies. But Mitt and I want to earn your support. We want to deserve this victory. We want to make sure that when you go to the polls on November the 6th, you have an affirming choice to make. Because we owe you, our fellow countrymen and women, a choice. You get to decide what kind of country we're going to have. And that's why we're offering specific solutions, specific ideas. It is not enough for us to just criticize. Look, that's what President Obama's doing. He can't run on his record. It's a terrible record. We all know that. And so he's resorting to going from hope and change to attack and blame. He's resorting to distortion, to division, to distraction, to try and win an election by default. We're not going to fall for that. We're going to offer specific ideas. We've shown you how we can save and strengthen Medicare and Social Security by getting rid of Obamacare, by getting rid of the rate of the Medicare Trust Fund, by preserving these programs, by keeping them there for our current seniors and reforming it for our younger generation. We're showing exactly how to cut spending, how to balance this budget, because we agree with one core idea. We have got to stop spending money we just don't have in this country. We can't keep mortgaging our children's future. And you know what? We have a lot of energy in this country. We have an unprecedented boom ahead of us on energy technology if we let it happen. Let's use that energy in this country. Let's bring it into America. Let's put people back to work. That means more manufacturing. That means more jobs. That means improve the Keystone Pipeline, more oil, more coal, more gas, more nuclear, more all of the above, everything. That's jobs. Look, I come from Big Ten country too. I see this guy with a Wisconsin Badger hat over here, and yeah, Michigan State pretty much thumped us last year when we thought we had a shot at the national championship. Paybacks are, you know what, and the Packers are not doing so hot, and you know, the Lions, yeah, I know, hey, look, we're from NFC Central, right? We're from the Big Ten. And look, hey, you got Prince Fielder from us, all right? You know, we were really proud of him. He's still a hero to us in Milwaukee. Tigers are doing great. The point is, overseas, which to us means Lake Superior, we've got countries that know what it takes to compete. The Canadians just lowered the tax on all of their businesses to 15% last January. President Obama is promising, it's coming in current law, that all of our successful small businesses will be taxed at over 40% this January. When you tax American job creators, American manufacturers, so much more than our foreign competitors tax theirs, they win, we lose, and we can't stand for that. That's how you lose jobs. Heck, this one tax increase doesn't even pay for 10% of the president's spending wish list. Here's the deal. I represent southern Wisconsin. Take a line from Muskegon, go straight across Lake Michigan. That's the area I represent. That's where I'm from. We lost 4 auto factories in the area I represent in just the last 4 years. We lost our plant, our GM plant in Janesville, our Chrysler Kenosha plant. We lost 2 Delphi plants in Oak Creek. Trust me, I come from Detroit West. We know we need a healthy auto sector. I come from a GM town, and as we said in Janesville, we've always said, as GM goes, so goes Janesville. Well, we've all gotten knocked down. We've seen some carnage in the auto sector. Know this, we want the strongest auto sector. We want American manufacturing to have a comeback, and the way we do that is we stop sending all of our decisions to Washington with a government-driven economy. We do it by helping our manufacturers compete and grow good jobs, and make sure that they can make more things in Michigan, make more things in America, and sell them overseas. That's what our manufacturing agenda is all about. Strong manufacturing, low tax rates, good regulations, a good energy policy. And I gotta tell you, a lot of the guys I grew up with in Janesville, a lot of friends of mine from high school, they lost their jobs at the GM plant. And you know, when we grew up, you thought that you could have the same job for your entire life. That's what our parents' generation had. A good living. You can make a good living for your family. Problem is, with a lot of these jobs gone, with a lot of people in their 30s and their 40s and their 50s and their 60s losing this livelihood, there aren't many alternatives out there. We need to make sure that people who are caught in between, who are slipping through the cracks, get the skills they need to get the careers they want so they can get back on their feet, get back onto a path to prosperity, get back in the middle class, have higher take-home pay, go back to work. You do that with a growing economy. You do that by getting people the skills they need, and that is part of our 5-point plan for a strong middle class. These are the things we've got to do to get our people back to work. China just beat us as #1 nation in manufacturing just 2 years ago, and we were on top for 100 years. We're going to get it back. We're going to get it back. We're going to get manufacturing moving again. We lost 38,000 manufacturing jobs just in the last 2 months. Over 10,000 of them came from auto. The good news is, if we put the right people in place and get the right policies in place, we can turn this around. We can make sure that we do what we need to do by putting these proven pro-growth policies in place. Use our own energy, get the people who need the skills, who are in between jobs, the skills they need, get the deficit under control, make sure we don't mortgage our children's future, take this drag off of our economy, make sure that the small businesses, the manufacturers, the suppliers are on a level playing field when they compete overseas. And let's also not forget that most of the people who buy products are outside of this country, so we need to make sure we have trade agreements that work for us so they don't take advantage of us, so we put ourselves on a level playing field so we can make more things in America and sell them overseas. We put these policies in place, our economy hits its potential. We get our economy growing like it ought to, like it can, we create 12 million jobs. The president said, if only we borrow about $831 billion and spend it on all his friends and cronies and special interests in Washington, they would create all these jobs. That unemployment would never even get to 8%. Well, it was above it for 43 months. He said that the economy would be growing at 4% this year. Right now, it's growing at 1.3%. The economy is growing slower this year than it grew last year. And last year, it was slower than the year before. We had less job growth last month than we had the month before, the month before that. You see, we're not going in the right direction. The president is trying to convince us that he just needs more time. That just stay on the path we're on and we'll get this figured out. We can't afford 4 more years like the last 4 years. And you know what we need? We need leadership. We need leadership. Of all the qualities, of all the examples, of the lifetime of accomplishment and of achievement, the one thing you have to admit that describes Mitt Romney is Mitt Romney is a leader. Mitt Romney is a man who knows how to run things. Look, after getting the runaround for 4 years, it's time we have a turnaround, and we have a man who knows how to turn things around. We have a jobs crisis. Wouldn't it be nice to have a job creator in the White House for a change? When the Olympics was going down the tubes, when they were plagued with scandal and wasteful spending and corruption, kind of sounds familiar today, doesn't it? They called Mitt Romney, asked him to leave his business, move to Salt Lake and turn it around for his country. He did that. We're proud of him. When this man started a business, ran it for 25 years, he turned around failing companies. He created businesses that we all know of today, like Staples, Bright Horizons, and Sports Authority. This is a man who helped create tens of thousands of jobs. And by the way, being successful in business, that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. We take pride in that. We don't resent that. We don't envy that. We want more of that. You know, thank you. And yes, he knows firsthand that if you have a small business, you built that small business. That is what this country is built on. You know, every now and then, speaking of that statement, the president drops his guard and reveals his philosophy. He reveals his beliefs. You remember when he was talking to a crowd of people in Ohio, and he got the guy named Joe the plumber? Remember he said to spread the wealth around? It reveals a mindset, an economic school of thought, that the economy is just fixed. It's just one slice of it, it's one pie, and that the government's job is to redistribute the slices, that your gain comes from your loss, that it's a zero-sum game. That is not how the world works. Our job is to grow the pie so everybody gets a better slice of the pie, so we can grow the economy and create opportunity. I had the pleasure and the opportunity of touring the Cornerstone School in Detroit today. Talk about opportunity. Talk about getting hope and opportunity to young kids in the inner city who are growing up in an area where they don't have hope and opportunity. This shows you that if we put the right ideas in place, if we remove those barriers to opportunity, people will flourish. That's what this country's about. It's about growing the pie. It's about upward mobility. It's about opportunity. It's about economic growth. And nothing can stop us from doing it anywhere we want to. And everybody in America can get out of poverty, back in the middle class, onto a life of self-sufficiency. That's what the American idea is all about, and that's what we're focused on doing. And remember when the president said that people in the Midwest, like us, they like to cling to their guns and their religion? Well, all I gotta say is this Catholic deer hunter is guilty as charged and darn proud of it. I gotta say. We need leadership. We need leaders who respect our founding principles, who know what makes our country great, who knows that the nucleus of our society is our families, our people, the ingenuity of Americans, not our central government. What that means is we want an opportunity society, not a government-run economy, not a government-run society. When Mitt Romney was governor of Massachusetts, this man delivered results. This is a Republican governor of a Democratic state, working across the aisle, not demeaning, not demagoguing, meeting with him every week. He said when he ran for governor, he would balance the budget without raising taxes. He came in as a Republican with all these Democrats running the place. He worked with them, he talked to them, he didn't compromise his principles, and he balanced the budget without raising taxes each and every year, and that's the kind of leadership we need in Washington. That gets things done. This is more than just that. It doesn't matter what generation you come from. This is the most important election in your generation. We are picking a big path for our country. America is more than just the Great Lakes, than just the Packers and the Lions, or the Brewers and the Tigers, and yeah, the Tigers are doing pretty darn well these days. It's more than a country with a flag. America is an idea. It's a very special idea. very simple. Our rights come from nature and nature's God and not from government. That's who we are. That's the American idea. Our founders founded this, and our veterans every generation since secured this for us, and we thank them for that. Our job is to preserve this. Here is the commitment that Mitt Romney and I are making to you, our fellow citizens. You got on this ticket a Michigander and a Wisconsinite. All right. My fellow Midwesterners, Michiganders, here is our commitment. We are not going to duck these tough issues, and we are not going to kick the can down the road like they do in Europe. We are going to fix this problem, and we are going to lead. We are going to have a strong national security. We're going to focus on the economy and getting people back to work, getting people out of poverty, getting their lives back together. And we are not going to spend the next 4 years blaming other people. We're going to take responsibility. And let me say this. We are not going to try to transform this country into something it was never intended to be. We are not going to replace our founding principles. We are going to reapply our founding principles. We can do this. We can turn this around. It's getting closer in Michigan. You can help push us over the top. You can deliver this. We can do it here. If we get this right, we will turn back. We will look back at this moment when we got it right. We can do this for our children, we can do this for ourselves, we can get ourselves back on top. We need your help. Michiganders, we need your help, and we can do this. Thank you for coming out today, everybody. Thank you for your faith. Thank you for your help. Let's go out there and get this done.